Hey, Mike G here, and wishing everyone a happy new year. I know it's the middle of January as of the making of this video, but this is my first video for the year, so I might as well. Now, on to today's video. A few days ago after the maintenance, we have now received a new update, opening up a school called the Red Winter Academy. Starting off with their president, Cherino. This update also comes with her banner in the gacha alongside Karin. Today also showcases a rerun on raid boss Chesed. And finally, we have a QA from the devs. We'll be going through each of these, what I think about Cherino and Karin, Chesed, and my way of how to fight the raid boss. Plus a few tips on Cherino's event, a revolutionary Ivan Kupala. We'll also go through a few Q&As that the devs have put out. And lastly, the next content of Blue Archive after these. So starting off with Cherino. While I do not have her at the moment, she is a piercing attack type midline striker with light armor. While she is the first and newest addition to the Red Winter Academy, she is still a standard banner unit. Plus, she's competing with a lot of piercing type units, so in my opinion, she's not worth pulling as you may get her in other banners. Next would be Karin, another piercing attack type, but is a special student. Karin has been in the game since the start, so her introduction isn't needed. I also don't have her as RNG screwed me over during my pulls in the start of the game. The same with Cherino. I believe she's not worth pulling as well since she too is also a standard banner character. Now, if you already have more than 24,000 Pyroxene and are looking to pull some, I would suggest pulling Cherino's banner instead. But I would also suggest to withhold your pulls. Why? We'll get to that later. Next is our rerun of Decagrammaton Chesed. If you haven't fought Chesed yet, Chesed is a heavy armor type raid boss who churns out tons and tons of mobs to do its fighting. Unless you have one hell of a piercing attack team and can finish it in one run, and spoiler alert, I don't. I would suggest running a mob team first as Chesed is a two-phase boss. The first phase would be clearing tons of mobs and the second would be Chesed itself. Now, the first team, I would recommend you bring more than a few crowd control or AoE clearing units like Nonomi. Now, why I don't recommend bringing all AoE units in the first phase is because the second phase still has mobs churning out and you actually need to clear the mobs in order to damage Chesed itself after some waves. The second team would be composed of your heavy hitting units like Hasumi, along with AoEs as well to help clear the mobs and then punishing Chesed once its shell opens. Now for Red Winter Academy's first event, a revolutionary Ivan Kupala. This event is a bit tricky for those who just like to run and gun the stages. If you're not careful with your team's movement, you may end up failing to obtain the 3rd star on the quest missions, so observe and study your movements and positioning. The story is quite fun too, so be sure to relax and read the dialogue. Now, for those who have cleared everything and don't know where to spend the AP for getting shop items, it goes as follows. Sweep through the 5th quest until you can buy all the items in the first shop, then sweep the 6th quest until you can clear the items there too. And finally, just continue sweeping the 7th quest mission to your heart's content. Now, on to Q&As. I will just be stating the relevant questions to me and my reaction to their answer, as their replies are pretty lengthy. You can find the other questions in the notices in the game. I'll leave a photo up for the questions I mentioned, and you may just pause the video to read up on their answer if you'd like. Question 1. Would future content come with changes like the game development department scenario had? So basically, this is the Aris scene censorship. Walk the talk, Nexon. Plus, you're only quote-unquote promising no changes up until the head prefect needs a break event. This does not cover the event after the mentioned event, which is the Hot Springs event, and that has a lot of sweet recollection lobbies. Question 6. Collaboration plans? While I understand their predicament of having to rush to catch up with Korea-Japan's versions, I hope they do release the collabs here in EN, especially the Hatsune Miku event. Question 7. Any plans for a Blue Archive anime? It is a popular demand. Well, I suppose it's possible given how another certain mobile gacha game recently had their anime released, but I won't hold my breath for this one. Question 8. Any possibilities of selling various merch globally like a soundtrack and art book? As they said, nothing's confirmed, but I do absolutely love their in-game soundtracks, and I would be very interested in their art book. But we'll have to wait and see if Nexon really is in the talks. And lastly, the next content of Blue Archive. Please take this with a grain of salt, as these are leaks, rumors, etc. But I believe the next two banners will be Azusa and Koharu. Now, this is where we come full circle with what I mentioned when I was talking about pulling for Cherino. Azusa is an extremely powerful explosive type midline unit. So much so, I actually do recommend pulling for her even if she will be in the standard banner. How would I recommend pulling? I would still suggest you hold your pyroxene at 24,000 and pull with your excess pyroxene, but you may pull more. My suggestion would be to stay close to the 24,000 pyroxene threshold. We may also get a new light armor raid boss in the next update, Hiero. So watch out for that and ready your explosive teams. And that is it for this video. I know it's a bit lengthy, but if you watched it until the end, thank you very much for doing so. If you liked this video, please remember to punch that like button. It would really help my channel grow. Subscribe as well, as I will be making more Blue Archive content whenever there is new stuff. It's free to subscribe, and you can always unsubscribe if you feel like it. Bye bye.
なんだか顔が熱いです。先生に恥ずかしいところを見られてしまって。